Let's talk. Let's talk reinvention. I went on a walk today, and it's so cold. I live in Maryland, and it's really cold, and I hate the cold, and I didn't want to go outside, but I forced myself to go out. And for those of you that love the cold, I wish I was one of those people, but I hate the cold. But I'm really proud of myself. Hey, from Phoenix, it's probably not cold there. Hi, Valerie. You're at work at lunch in Philly. Hey, Philly. I'm from New Jersey. I've been in Philly a lot. Hey, Gigi. My grandson calls me Gigi. So I went for a walk today because if you've seen my recent notes, I'm on a mission to get my abs back. And I want to make it clear this is not a vanity thing. This is not even a weight loss challenge because, um, yes, you have to lose weight to get to see your abs. But this is about body recomposition. Gail, you got me out. Oh, yay! 10,000 steps. I don't know how many steps I did. I was rushing to get home. I'll have to post about it. I walked for an hour, so I don't know how many steps that was. But we want to talk about reinvention and why I am so passionate about it. So I've been coaching women on reinventing their lives, reinventing their business, Covington, Georgia. Been to Georgia a few times. Um, Reinventing your life, your business, your career, your health. Hey, from Mexico. Oh, God, I wish I was in Mexico. Oh, you were in Maryland. Tell me where. Um, yeah, I just lost track. So I help you reinvent your life. But everything starts with your life and your relationship with yourself. So whether you want to quit your job, whether you want to lose weight, start a business. Oh, Baltimore. Okay. I'm in Southern Maryland and Waldorf. But whether you want to lose weight, quit your job, whatever it is, just feel better about yourself. You have to be open to reinventing your life. And that's this very broad term. So, first, I want to tell you why I named this It Should Happen Before the Year Ends or Before 2026. And that is because, hey, um, that is because self-sabotage sets in when you wait and do a New Year's resolution. So if you're telling yourself, I'm going to wait, oh, you follow me for years. Wow. Um, if you're going to wait until January to set a resolution, you are setting yourself up for failure because pretty much 99% of all New Year's resolutions fail. Yes, the time is now, Gigi. Yes, you're right. The time is now. This is not about a New Year's resolution. Yeah, I want to know why people are waiting, but this is not about a New Year's resolution. This is about changing your life. And the difference between a resolution and a reinvention is when you reinvent your life, it requires you to shift identities. So if I say, or you say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds by the summer, that's a resolution. It's all about the pounds, it's all about losing the weight loss. But if you instead say, I am becoming the person who eats healthy, has more energy, has flat abs because of the way I eat. The person that eats an anti-inflammatory diet or the person that eats plant-based or protein rich or whatever it is, then you focus on being that person. That is a reinvention. How do you think when you're on a journey, like for me, to get my abs back? How do you think when you're on a journey to quit your job, or maybe you've been laid off and you want to start a different career? You're tired of the field you were in. You have to leave the old identity behind because what happens so many times is people start their resolutions. Oh, okay. I'd love to know about what your reinvention is. Um, and scary and exciting. I say scared sighted. which is scared and excited. Um, but you have to step into the identity because if you don't step into the identity, what will happen? You'll weigh yourself, you starve yourself, and then you'll get on the scale and you've lost 20 pounds, and then you'll say, Yay. And then you go back to this same identity of the person that was eating the junk food, or the same thing with a job. When I quit my job, I hired a coach who had been an accountant. She's a CPA, and she became a coach and quit her job. Well, I was an accountant. I'm not a CPA, but I was an accountant for the past almost 20 years, and I wanted to quit my job, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I decided to get certified as a life and weight coach with the Life Coach School. For any of you that might know who that what that school is, but anyway, but I was still walking around with the identity of an accountant who worked in DC for a law firm. I was not walking around with the identity. I'm a life coach that helps women reinvent their lives and launch businesses. So I was operating in the old identity, and I needed someone that had walked through. Yes, Brooke Castillo, that's who I am certified by with the Life Coach School. Um, I had to become the coach identity. I had to become the entrepreneur identity. I had to become the woman who lives without a paycheck. That is a mind F. I don't really cuss like that, but that messes with your mind when you don't show up in the new identity. And that's why this is so important. It's not about an arbitrary date. It's not about January 1st. It's about who am I now? So put in the comments if you were to reinvent yourself, maybe you haven't decided, but just think about off the top of your head, what's one major thing that you want to change in your life? Gigi said, putting the necessary steps into play is engaging a new mindset. Avoiding the changes means that you are still rehearsing the old behaviors and reinforcing that old identity. Are you a coach, Gigi? Tell me about yourself. Tell us about yourself. Hello. Hey, it's so funny. Rachel's calling me auntie, and I'm so used to my nieces and nephews. It threw me off. I was like, "Is that one of my nieces or nephews?" Here's to restoration and re-envisioning our beautiful soul selves. You're shining. Also, New Year's is not the natural cycle. Let's set ourselves to follow natural cycles. I've been following Knitting Cult Lady Push-Up Challenge. Okay, hilarious. That sounds hilarious. I'll have to check that out. Let's choose self-care movement, meditation, and embrace our wise and young self. Yes, Sheila's a wellness, or Sheila, you want to become a wellness coach? Rachel's, oh, you're a Trini. One of my good friends is from Trinidad. I've been there before. Heather, tell us why you have goosebumps. You have to be able to dream. You have to allow yourself to be to like dream the impossible dream. Dream about the impossible. Sometimes I say I help people do the impossible. My cat is trying to get my attention. This is Mo. I thought if I fed him he wouldn't bother me, but this is Mo, and he if I give him attention, he will run away in a few minutes because he wants to bug you, but he doesn't want you to bug him. But anyway, you have to have big dreams. Oh, you have a Mo. Um, you have to dream big dreams. You have goosebumps because again, I jumped in accidentally and I'm hearing these words differently. They're just hitting differently. Yay, I'm glad because I tried to make changes the old way for most of my life, and it did not work. It didn't work, and I was so frustrated. If you could see my multiple bookshelves, you would see all the self-help and personal development books that I have bought. Now, you notice I didn't say I read them all. I bought a lot. So, is it Alucci? Is that how you pronounce it? I want to add another income stream, one that's robust that will exceed my current income. So let's talk about this real quick because this is part of what I help my clients do. If you want to exceed your current income, if you want to quit your job, if you want to start a new career, I want you, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be any of those. If you want to lose 50 pounds, if you want to move to Mexico, whatever it is, I want you to decide. Decide today. It starts with a decision. It doesn't start with a goal. It starts with a decision. A decision is deeper. It comes from your soul. It starts with deciding. And then the next step is becoming the person that already has what you desire. So if you want to make more money, let's say you're making $100,000, declare it to God, declare it to the trees, yes, the mountains, declare it to the universe, yes. If you say you're making 100K, just for simplicity, but you want to double that, I want you to write down my income is $200,000, or I want to 2x my income. You have to be very, very clear, and then we don't chase. We walk around in the vibration of the $200,000. I'm walking in the vibration of less belly fat, less belly fat. I'm walking in that vibration. So what does that mean? I think like the woman, I'm getting texts. I think like the woman that has less belly fat. I think like the woman that's doubled her salary. Actually, I tripled my six-figure salary when I quit my job. You start thinking like the person, you start feeling like the person intentionally. So you pick new thoughts. You intentionally practice new thoughts. It's great to hear you talk about being specific. Yes, Tony, you have to be specific. You have to be specific. You have to decide. You could, however, like most people don't have a strategy for making decisions, which is really scary. Most of us, we are pushed into decisions because our backs are up against the wall. But I want to encourage you to dream bigger than you've ever dreamed. Think bigger than you've ever thought. If you have to pray about it, meditate, go for a walk, talk to the trees, whatever your process is, but you have to be specific and you have to decide now. Hear me good. You have to decide now. When you say, I'm thinking about it, you're avoiding. You are right. I've decided to add another income stream. Yeah, I read that article about tripling your income. Oh, you did? Yes. You have to, but you have to decide the amount. I don't care what the amount is. You might want to test an amount. Samantha, I think about how good I feel to have what I want and maintain that energy. Feelings makes it materialize faster than strategizing totally. So the reason that I talk about thinking the way the person would think is because your thoughts create a vibration in your body, which is a feeling. And the other thing that I know is that for someone like me that was disconnected from their feelings for so long, I wasn't taught about feelings growing up. I knew the basic ones: happy, mad, sad, glad, excited, like the basics. But now I study feelings. If you're one of those persons, can you talk about the nervous system? It's so important, and I'm not an expert on nervous system, but what I have found out the hard way is that our emotions become trapped in our body, and the emotions show up with most of the time physical manifestations, so physical illness, pain, different things physically, and it's important to move the energy through our body. And there are different ways to do that. Breath is one. I started working with a somatic healer and an acupuncturist on this nervous system regulation. And the somatic person has me breathing and feeling into where my energy like, for me, I get a lot of issues with my back. I've had back surgery. I get tightness in my back or muscle spasms sometimes. And just breathing into that feeling, like where I feel it in my back, has literally shifted the pain, shifted the discomfort. I did that today. And it's our body and our mind's way of keeping us safe. So before I went for my walk today, I had my coat on, my hat, gloves, everything. And then I started getting this ouch, like tightness in my back. And I stopped literally in the hallway downstairs and just started I closed my eyes and started breathing and imagining myself moving the energy like a stream of water through my back, and it went away. It went away. So this isn't magical thinking. This look it up. It's scientific. It's real. We're not taught these things, though. Let's see. I'm a retired teacher after several surgeries battling with oh, you have hearing loss and vision loss and rheumatoid arthritis. I still want to do something. Writing and photography is what I want to do. I also need extra income trying to get into affiliate marketing. Oh, yeah, need to lose weight. Never get on the scale at the doctor's office after the holidays. Well, I say get on the scale in the doctor's office after the holidays so that you can face the reality of what the number is, and then you're moved to take action. But for someone, love, I don't know how you say the second, but I'll just call you love. For love and people like love and like me that have been I've been through so many medical challenges. It's crazy. It started at 28 when I heard well, I had I don't even know what it's called. I was bending over and something popped in my back. Lumbar strain, that's what it's called. I had a lumbar strain, that's what they call it when I was 28. Let me take a sip of water. And that's when things started going downhill at 28, and I was very athletic since I was about 15, in the gym, running, lifting weights. It was very unusual for someone, that grew up when I did to be doing those things. I used to ride my bike for miles, um, but that at 28, that happened, and then I had my daughter I got married at 30, had my daughter when I was 32, and I have something and I did not know this. I have something called an incompetent cervix. I haven't even written about a lot of this stuff. Incompetent cervix, which means you can't hold a pregnancy long term. You find out when you're pregnant. So I had my daughter when I was 26 weeks pregnant. Yes, my daughter was born 14 weeks early, which is crazy to think about now because she's grown. She's grown. Um, so I've had a lot of craziness. Hearing loss, brain tumor, herniated disc, back surgery, but I would say to anyone that's going through medical challenges, this is what I started telling myself. I started telling myself that my healing does not have to look like anyone else's. It doesn't have to look like what the doctors say. Even your business, your career, the way you make money does not have to look like anyone else's. A big problem is that we do things, oh, Howard University grad, okay. We do things the way other people tell us to do. And then if it doesn't work for us, instead of switching up a little bit, adding a little bit of your magic, a little bit of your sauce, your special sauce, you just stop doing it. So I can teach you what worked for me, but what I teach my clients is try what worked for me and experiment. Were you once an overgiver? Oh my God. Yeah, very much so an overgiver. I was raised to be an overgiver. But I want you to, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I want you to, yes, learn from me, learn from other people, but then add your extra sauce. if somebody like for me, I'm telling you, I'm squatting into my 70s and you want to do squats to get stronger legs. You might not be able to squat as low as I can. You might have to just get up from the chair and sit down, get up from the chair and sit down until your legs are stronger. Whereas I can sit in a squat. So tailor the advice for you. Don't quit. Now, as far as being an overgiver, first of all, I'm the oldest child of 4. My parents divorced when I was 11 or 12 years old, and I became the mom because my mother was working 2 jobs, and so I became the caretaker, the overgiver. And when I was growing up, women were raised to get married and take care of their husband and their family. So that's what I learned. And I was just telling someone yesterday, a client yesterday, this year, and I made a note about this. I posted a note about this. This year for Thanksgiving, I ate the least amount of food I've ever eaten, and I had no dessert on Thanksgiving. And I didn't even want dessert, which is like mind blowing to me because when I was married, I've been divorced for a long time, but when I was married, I made everybody's special dessert. Did they ask me to do that? No. People pleaser. I was a people pleaser. So my father-in-law loved multiple layer coconut cake. I would make that. My ex-husband liked fruit cake. I would make fruit cake from scratch, y'all. And you have to start like way ahead of time and douse it with, I don't even remember what kind of liquor, and then wrap it up in cheesecloth and put it in the dark and keep taking it out and wrapping it up. It was crazy. I would make blondies and cookies for my coworkers. Then I would cook a full Thanksgiving meal, everybody's favorite food, and turkey and fish and vegetables and all the things. It was crazy. It was crazy, and it that burns you out. And then, because I had such a premature child, my daughter was sick for probably the first 10 years, and when I say sick, I mean surgery, in and out of the hospital, in and out of the emergency room, severe asthma attacks because she had, collapsed lungs, and she had severe asthma, so she had to get breathing treatment. So I was the caretaker. I was doing all the things, and it wasn't until probably 5 years ago. So my daughter has a 6-year-old son, and they both live with me. So even and she had my grandson right before COVID. So my first grandchild, a baby in the house, which I, at the time, was not looking forward to. I became the mama, basically. And I realized so at that time, I was getting certified. So he was born at the end of 2019. If you remember, in 2020 was COVID. So we were on lockdown. So I was working from home for my job. I was in coach certification. I started getting coaching clients. I was helping take care of a baby because when my daughter went back to work, she worked nights. And so during COVID, my daughter was working at night. I was here with a baby, and my ex-husband used to come over after work and help me. What? What? What do you remember, Tony? What do you mean, COVID? Oh, I guess you're saying COVID lockdown. My best friend died in March of 2020, and that's when I started coach certification. So I had to go, I not had to, but I decided to go into therapy because you see all the things I named. I was doing all of those things, over giving, overdoing, over caretaking, but not thinking about myself. So let's circle back to reinvention. So when it comes to reinventing your life, you have to get selfish. So people call it selfish, but I call it self-full. You have to get full of yourself. You have to give yourself the love and the care that you have been giving other people. You have to put your dreams and your desires first. Otherwise, you will rationalize your way out of doing the things that you really desire. And then when you get old, you're going to be saying, I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda. And I remember when I was young, my mother used to always say something about wish I coulda, woulda, shoulda. And I would laugh, but I would always say, when I get old, I'm not going to say wish I coulda, shoulda, because I want to do what I want to do. And for the most part, I have done, really mostly since my divorce, I've done a lot of things that I wanted to do for me. We go first. We're not taught that by society. We go first. Then we can be there for other people. But if we don't fill up our tank, and I know you know this here, but who is the person that goes first? You have to decide you're the person that goes first. And then you show up so much better for everybody else. So to circle back, what do you want to do? Like for those of you that just joined, what do you want to do with this big, beautiful life you have? What do you want to do with it? Are we going to let the government dictate what we do with it? Hell no. Are we going to let our job dictate what we do with it? No. Are we going to let our spouse, our family, our children, our relatives, our best friends? Those are the people we normally let decide what we do. But I'm here to tell you, you will end up being absolutely miserable if you let the world decide what's best for you. How do I know? I did that. Hi and hell no. Netta, right? Hell no. You know, most of us let our parents, friends, family, job, whatever it is, decide what's best for us, what the rules for our life are. And that's how you end up miserable. And nobody wants to go through life miserable. So if you're hearing my voice and you are sad, depressed, miserable, frustrated with any aspect of your life, we need to talk because this needs to stop now. That's why I said reinvent yourself. Now, of course, the entire reinvention is not going to happen by the end of this year. No, the decision the decision starts now, today. I mean, literally, when you get off this call, when you get off work, when you finish whatever it is you're doing, sit down and decide. Without the decision, nothing will happen. Everything will stay the same, and you'll start the new year and set a resolution, and by February or March, you will have forgotten all about it. No, we're not going out like that this year. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to get rid of the belly fat. I have no idea. When I did it before, and I'm going to write, oh, yes, you better stop hiding. Um, I'm going to write about how I initially lost the weight and got my abs at 62. And I found on my phone a picture of my protocol that I followed that I wrote. Um, I was I was vegan and I was miserable. I mean, I wasn't miserable just because I was vegan. I was miserable because I wasn't allowing myself to really eat anything that I don't know. I'm not going to say it didn't taste good because I love vegan food. I still could eat vegan. I love vegetables and fruit. But I think the biggest thing was that most of the people around me weren't vegan. It's hard to get vegan food in restaurants. I was commuting long commutes. I couldn't really prepare all my meals like I wanted to. So I lost that weight, kind of suffering. You know, I was happy to see the number on the scale, but it was a lot of suffering and frustration, and we do not want to suffer in our life. So this time I'm doing it with the help and support of a nutritionist. And actually I'm a certified health coach. So I know all the things, but that doesn't mean I do all the things perfectly. We all need support. So, I'm doing it this time with the help of a nutritionist, with the help of an acupuncturist, with the help of my coach. So I'm doing it with support, and we all need support. It's hard to survive in this world alone. And if you don't get support, you are in your own head all the time, 24/7, which is a dangerous place to be. And if you go to your friends only or your family only for support, they don't want you to change. That doesn't mean they don't love you, but I learned that the hard way too. They want you to stay safe, to stay the same. They want you to stay the person they know and love. But you cannot, back to the identity shift, you cannot stay in the same identity and have a different life. When you're an introvert, it can be difficult to start something new. Even at 68, I'm trying to push myself to start something new. Unfortunately, I do not have anyone to talk to. Thankfully, I found your page. I'm glad you found my page. I'm so glad because I'm going to do a lot more lives. I'm going to be having a lot more trainings and conversations because believe it or not, and people don't believe me, but I'm an introvert. I I can slip in and out of it in certain circumstances, but I'm not the life of the party. I had to learn how to speak up. I literally, and it's uncomfortable. I had to for all my introverts, but it's hard for extroverts too. Even if you're an extrovert, it might not be easy for you to change your life. It might not be easy for you to go live or be on camera or take pictures of yourself. Even extroverts, struggle, but I really am an introvert. I love being by myself. I know, I have friends and family, but I enjoy my time with myself. I really do. I can have fun all by myself. I can drive for hours alone, eat alone, go to a restaurant, go to the movies, whatever, and not talk to a soul. But that's not healthy in the long run. So love, you know, you have to push yourself to get out of it. And the way that I did it was introverts unite, right, Samantha? But you have to push yourself, you know? I would be my armpits would be sweaty, my stomach would hurt every time I would do a training on Zoom or even go live. Even when I think about going live, I get nervous, but it's so funny, as soon as I get on here, I could probably talk to you for 2 hours. But you have to just do it afraid. I mean, really, you do it afraid until you're not afraid anymore. Think about it. When you started driving, you didn't know how to drive. It's scary being on the road with those crazy folks. But you kept exposing yourself to it and you kept doing it and you kept doing it until it became natural. It's like that with Substack. It's like that with any business. It's like that with our job. There's so many people that are afraid to show their face on their picture on social media. Rip the Band-Aid off. Seriously, rip the Band-Aid off. Do it afraid. You have to do it afraid. Otherwise, you'll be sitting in the same miserable life for the rest of your life. And misery is different for different people. You could have and I've been here. You could have everything society tells you you should have. You could have the degrees, the job, the money, the house, the spouse, the car, the vacation, and still be miserable and still be unfulfilled. So we're fed the lie that all of those things will make you happy and help you to have an amazing life. And yes, those things can be great. Um, but you can become a slave to that too. So it's about you. It's about starting with you, starting with your desires, and going from there. Um, if you have any questions, can you put them in the comments? Just send write a message, put it in the comments if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'm traveling tomorrow, taking my computer because I plan to do some things afraid. Good, good. Good. And then, okay, now this is the other piece. Do the things you're afraid to do, and then celebrate yourself. Don't just do it and keep going like whatever. I want you to take a minute to celebrate yourself. So, those of you that are going to take up my challenge to do it afraid, to pick the desire that you're going for, pick the reinvention that you want to have in your life, pick the pivot, however you want to say it. If you want to up level in your business, pick a dollar amount, pick a number of clients. If you want to write a book, pick a date you will have your book finished. Don't just start writing willy-nilly and whenever. No, pick a date, pick a publication date, pick a time, and then because what happens when you pick a time and a date, then you go all in. Just like I said with the GPS. If you get in your car and say, "Guess I'll take a drive. Don't know where I'm going, but guess I'll drive somewhere today." And then you just sit there. You have to decide where you're going. That's the best analogy I can say. You have to decide where you're going. You have to decide what aspect of your life are you going to start with. I was miserable with most aspects of my life when I started this work. I really was. I had a good job, made six figures, worked in a semi-prestigious law firm near the White House, all the things. When I was married, we had this huge house and drove a Jaguar and a Lexus and used to go to New York every Thanksgiving and eat and stay at the fanciest hotels and all the things. But I was miserable, y'all. I liked doing those things, but I was miserable because I wasn't being true to my soul. So we can have all the things on the outside, but if we're not being true to ourselves, that's a miserable situation to be in. So, no questions? Any more comments? Because I haven't eaten yet today, and I'm going to go fix me something to eat and go plan out my protocol for my eating for the next who knows how long. And I have an appointment with my nutritionist tomorrow too. But if you're not subscribed to my Substack, what are you waiting for? And if you're not a paid subscriber, what are you waiting for? Because I'm going to be taking my paid subscribers behind the scenes of all of this. You're going to see what I'm eating. I'm going to be videotaping like behind the scenes stuff and giving you inside information. Um, so you lived a life others envy. What was your turning point? Oh, Jesus. So anyway, I meant to tell you this too. I'm actually doing a Christmas special price for my paid subscriptions too. So check it out. But my turning point, if you have time, I'll give you, I mean, it's going to take a second, but the turning point was my ex-husband's affair. Um, and Casey, thank you so much. I hope I'm pronouncing your word right, your name right. I mean, we talked, but I never asked you how to pronounce your name. But the turning point was my ex-husband's affair. I was married just shy of 20 years. And okay, I have never told this story publicly, but I will tell you today. One night, my ex-husband, my daughter, and I were home. He was down in the cashier, cashier. We were home. He was in the basement in his home office. I was on the second floor, and my daughter was on the first floor watching TV. And all of a sudden, at my front door, boom, 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 boom. And I'm saying, who the heck is knocking at my door like that? We have a doorbell, we have a door knocker. Why is someone pounding on my front door? And actually, it was the police. Yeah, it was the police coming to arrest my ex-husband. And in Gail's happy little world back then, the police were never involved. And my ex-husband was a church-going, business owner, government contractor, making a whole bunch of money, and the police come knocking at our door. So he opens the door. They tell him he's under arrest, and they take him away. They arrest him. And I'm standing there like, what the hell is going on? I can talk about it now because damn near 20 years have passed. But I was 49. Well, so it probably was. It's been almost 20 years. I was 49 when that happened. Um, and yeah, the police came and arrested him. And I asked them, why was he under arrest? Because in Gail's happy little perfect world, and I'm not being sarcastic, I had everything. Um, the police do not come to your house. And I found out later, well, the police wouldn't tell me. They said, you're going to have to come down to the station and bail him out and figure out what happened. Oh, Netta, that happened to you? Are you talking about the arrest of the husband? Let me know if that's what you're talking about. So anyway, I called his brother, his because they had money in their business, and his brother went and paid the bail, but he couldn't get out till the next day because this was late in the evening. And so they made him empty his pockets. They made him empty his pockets before they took him off. And back then, if you remember Palm Pilots, I'm telling y'all, I've been through hell and back. So they made him clean out his pockets, and he took out his change and his Palm Pilot. So he had been acting very strange for quite a while, but on the surface, everything looked perfect. He treated me like a queen. I literally had everything you would ever want. Big, beautiful home, cars, all the things I just said. If I wanted anything, he'd say, get it. I'll figure out how to pay for it. Um, it's so hard to believe now because it's me paying everything now. But so I picked up the Palm Pilot and I was like, and I'm not a snooping person. Like, there's some people that snoop. I never had snooped at all. I totally trusted him. He was like, I thought like this Christian, upstanding, faithful man. Little did I know. So I looked in the Palm Pilot at his calendar, started looking at his contacts. So all these different women's names that I did not know who they were, but on his calendar, he had different days that he had met with this one particular person that he had given a code name. And the crazy thing is, at that time, my mom was dying. She was in a nursing home. She was very sick, and she was in New Jersey, and I'm in Maryland. So most weekends, I was driving with my daughter. We would leave and go to go to New Jersey to visit my mom at the nursing home and stay with my brother. So he had ample opportunity. Hi, Freddie. Had, ample time and opportunity. But when he was arrested, so I'm telling the story about really what started, like what was my breaking point where my life really started changing a lot. And that was my ex-husband's infidelity. So when he got arrested and I went to pick him up the next morning, I told him that I left a part out, a really important part. So when I saw the name, like I saw these names on the calendar, and I saw that he had been spending time with someone I didn't know, I went down to his office and just started looking through his mail and, like, paperwork, and I was literally looking for a bank statement for a business that he had so that I could see how much money was in it. His brother had told me to do that so he could come up with the bail, and so when I opened one of the bank statements, he had paid for a resort in Jamaica called Hedonism. Well, I knew I wasn't going to hedonism. I didn't even know anything about hedonism. Yes, I know this probably reads like a Lifetime movie. People keep telling me I need to write a book. So when I saw that he was going to hedonism and had paid for this trip, I knew I didn't know I started saying I was sleeping with the enemy. I didn't know this person, and come to find out later that he admitted to 10 different affairs, like 10 different women. Um, it's such a crazy story. I probably should write a book. And the last girlfriend he had was living in our rental property. So I'll leave you right there. It's some craziness that unfolded. But so come to find out, he got arrested because he had rented a work truck. Him and his business partner were doing some like renovations and rehabs. Yes, 10. That's what he admitted to. So who knows how many there were. But they were renting work trucks and not returning them and putting them on a credit card, putting them on the store says to me, "You've lived at least 5 lives." I know, I can't even believe it, really. And look at me at 69. All that I went through, all that tragedy and craziness and health, and God, like, has his hands on me. But, so they were putting these rentals on a credit card that didn't have that much, like, a high credit limit, and they were not returning the trucks. So that's why he got arrested. So they ended up dropping the charges, but that just opened the truth of what had been going on. It just led to everything falling apart, really. And that happened like in October, and that happened in October. I had just had brain surgery in March of the same year, and then that happened because I had a brain tumor. It was not cancerous. It's called a meningioma, but I had just had the brain tumor in in February or March. And then I found that out in October, and I wasn't even working, y'all. And I got a job and I left him. So that happened in October, and I left him in February, that next February. After that, it was me against the world. Yes, he was very much living a double life. And I'll tell you, you guys got the inside scoop today. Um, my best friend and my sister knew about his affair, the last one, and they decided not to tell me because they thought that I wouldn't believe them, which I don't know why they thought that, but so people knew, but here I was, the committed wife with the sick daughter who put all her time into her family, and he was doing all this crazy stuff behind my back. But strangely, our best true self can rise like a phoenix out of the trauma and drama. Yes. I would not be here with my Substack, talking to all of you if I had not gone through that. I would not have even had the job I ended up in, making 6 figures, quitting, like, everything, the trajectory of my life would have been so different. So, I've healed, I've forgiven him, I had to forgive him in order to move forward in my life. And, we're grandparents to an amazing 6-year-old boy who my grandson has a disability. That's a whole nother story. But, so thank God for coaching. I'm telling oh, Tony, I pivoted. I can't even tell you how many times I've pivoted. Um, that's why I can help you. Like, that's why I can help you. Oh, and if you want my help, if you want to have a conversation with me, if you want me to help you get unstuck, change your life, pivot, I can help you in a few different ways. But if you want long term help, like 6 months, 3 months, um, reach out to me. I'm a coach. I will coach you. We can do a free consult and we can talk about it. If you want to kinda dig a little bit deeper and figure out what you may even want to reinvent, I do one-hour sessions too, so just message me, and when I send out the replay, I'll send out the link for those things because I am on a mission to help people Create a life of freedom, a life that you love, a life of abundance so you don't suffer like I suffered. I did not have coaching. And today, we've gone almost an hour. You've heard a lot of crazy stories from me. You've also gotten a lot of wealth of information from what I learned, and there's so much more. I worked with one lady for I'm calling her a lady, but a woman for an entire year who's a professor at a well-known university. She changed her entire life. She went through a divorce while we were working together too, but she went deeper into her career. So many things changed because she was willing to face the things that she was afraid to look at. You have to look at those things. You have to shine a light on the darkness, on the dark side, so you can shift them. Oh, you never thought about a coach? We're here, coaches, and so you understand, coaches are your accountability partner, your partner in helping you bring your dreams to fruition, your partner to help you get unstuck. Coaches will help you look at your brain. Well, that's what I do as a coach. I help you find the thoughts that are keeping you stuck because one thought can have a ripple effect. You could be telling your like I used to say to myself, I can't justify spending that money. Like I wanted to get certified maybe 3 or 4 years before I actually got certified, and I told myself, "I can't justify it." I paid 18,000 for my certification, and it's a damn good I mean, I learned some amazing stuff. That's how I am the woman I am today. But for probably 5 years, I said, "I'm too old. I can't justify spending that amount of money. I need to put it in my retirement. My retirement, my retirement. I need to save. I need to save." If I had not taken a risk on myself and invested in myself, I would not be here talking to you today. We have to be able to risk it all for us, for our life, for our well-being, for our future. And you see how passionate I am about this because I told you about my life. I told you what's going on with me. And I'm still here standing tall, telling my stories. Thank you for betting on yourself. Yes, I'm going to bet on myself every day, every opportunity. And I want you to bet on yourself too. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for hanging with me. I'll be back again this week, tomorrow or Friday, but I'll send out a notice. And let's make this happen in 2026. Under my watch, your 2026 will look nothing like your 2025, all right? And let's talk. Message me. You don't have to pay me, but of course, that's how I make my living. So I would love to help you and go all in with you, but I will still talk to you whether you pay me or not. Message me, talk to me, subscribe, become a paid subscriber, all the things so I can keep doing the work I'm doing, keep helping people save their lives, really, and become the person you desire to be. So, see you later. Have a good one. Bye.